Trying to start. Hi guys.
Hi guys.
We can tell what happened on the weekend. Bec's 3-day birthday party, finishing at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I got woken up by my best mate calling me at 4 a.m. because he wanted to talk because he was drinking and didn't realise I had work.
So he didn't do your trick.
No, at least
Send a text message and see if someone answers. If they answer, then ring them straight away before they go to bed.
Exactly. But I freaked out because he called me and I was like, why the hell is he calling me? It's 4 a.m. It woke me up. I was like, I'm not answering this. It's 4 a.m. But then he's called again. And then the third time. So of course my brain goes into, oh no, something must be wrong. Like who calls 3 times?
Oh, so you didn't answer the first 2?
No. But then I thought something must be wrong if he's called 3 times in a row at 4 a.m. And I was like, oh no, what's wrong? So I got out of bed and I was like, hey, what's up? And it was a FaceTime and he was just sitting there with a drink and he was like, hi! And I was like, I've got work in the morning.
Well, it was the morning. He just woke you up early to have a shower.
Oh my God. So I went back to bed, but I couldn't get back to sleep. And then when I did get back to sleep, my alarm went off. Anyway, that's my sob story about me being tired. I think I was drinking this one last week.
Noble fellows. Somebody asked, they want to drink along with us, but I don't think they're going to find this in any other country than Victoria.
I think it's an Australian wine.
I think it's a Victorian wine.
Well, it should say where it's from.
It's a Pinot Rosé of something.
Marlborough.
Marlborough.
Where's Marlborough?
That's a cigarette brand.
I know.
Are you smoking cigarette juice?
No.
Oh, gross. Yeah, let's start off with the gross thing. No. I was up in Cairns and my sister's still
I think it's a New Zealand wine.
New Zealand.
Anyway, sorry, yeah, you're in Cairns.
And my sister's still a cigaretter. She's trying to give up, but she's still a cigaretter, and she's a good cigaretter. She has a little jar that she keeps in the car for her butts. Mm. She'll put a bit of water in there, and she just drops them in this old drink bottle.
Yeah.
And I said, how old's that? And she goes, I think I need to enter. It's about 6 months old. Mm. And then when we had to pick up Mum's TV, I had to put my seat right so I had my nose pressed against the windscreen. And she nearly crashed. And I said, nobody's allowed to hit this door. If they hit, they're going to get covered in cigarette juice. Yuck. And if they got into open wounds, it would be horribles. Yuck. Anyway.
That's gross.
Yes, it's
gross.
Cigaretters. Who would do that?
I'm really proud of myself because I had a couple of beveraginos at my birthday party.
No, I didn't see you drink at all.
I was pretty sure that I was going to cave and be like, oh, fine, I'll have one. I didn't.
Yeah, but you told me the last 2 you hated.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why you're not going to.
I know. It's good. So I'm officially not smoking.
But that's that thing that man said in that book about giving up, that the first, except for you, the first time you smoked, you thought, oh, wow, this is like getting high. And you got addicted to that. Whereas most people, the first time they have a smoke, they nearly throw up with coughing and that's the body saying, why are you doing this?
I don't smoke there. I'm so
I know.
proud. I still vape though.
Vape on a plane. Anybody from airlines that watch this podcast?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't do that.
Just accidentally one in public.
That was bad. That was funny though.
But so how are you going to rate your party? Because you say that your New Year's Eve is the best day of the year. How did your party rate against your bad New Year's Eve?
I had a lot of fun. It was just really overwhelming, especially because all of my mates rocked up at once, and it's the problem with I feel like I didn't get to speak to everyone. I don't think I did. I tried to. But it's like when you go to someone else's birthday, and you get there and you're like, oh, cool, these are the people I know. I'm going to spend the night talking to that. But at your birthday, it's like, I know everyone here.
Or you'd want to, wouldn't you? I spoke to a few people. There was a metalhead there who hated your music with a passion. And I thought, well, how are you friends with Bec if you hate her music? But he does like Slipknot and a few bands like that you like. So that must be your connection. I don't know who was there pre you. You were late to your own party. You made me sit there without you.
Oh, me at Lynch, it would have been. Did he have a beard?
Yes.
Yeah, Lynch.
Yes, that's a nice fellows. And I met a few of your imaginary friends. And I finally met Goose.
Yes.
This is a person that woke her up at 4 o'clock this morning. He's got 2 things to answer for now. Throwing my phone over a fence and now waking back up, and she's been useless all day. She's just sitting there in...
useless. I've done filming and stuff. I've answered people.
The next things with Anna, no. Well, anyway, the ones with Anna coming up, if the camera's on an angle, you can see I'm nearly certain she went to sleep while she was filming today.
I didn't, but
Anyways,
no, it was a really good night, and I'm officially old, and...
You're in the second third of your life.
I know, wild.
No, but this is supposed to be your funnest time.
Yeah, a lot of people said that on my post, because I put up some photos from my birthday, and it was really funny because I've captioned it, because everyone always do when they find out how old I'm like, you don't look that old. So I was like, CEO of, you don't look 30. And the amount of comments, someone was like, I honestly thought you were 18. I'm like,
well, someone commented on one of our things the other day, thought you were 14.
I know. I was like, okay, that's a stretch.
Yeah, no, I think he's just hoping.
And by the way, we're not a couple. Peter is my boss. I'm his assistant.
Yeah, we had those questions again.
And
We've had still 2 questions that someone's been listening to you for ages, and still, what's your relationship with Bec? Well, you obviously haven't been listening to us for ages.
All right, it's fine.
And she's got her new nails.
I've got nails back, but if you're listening to us on a podcast, you can't see them, but they're really long and pointy.
They are a bit fat, aren't they?
See, I know, because it's acrylic, and they make
it.
Yeah,
it's got like a big lump that comes out that the others never had.
Well, they need to do that because of how long they are, so that kind of
that protects it.
Yeah.
That just makes sure when you do catch on something, it rips your whole nail out, not just half.
So anyway, they're really long and pointy, and they've been dipped in blood. They're cool.
Dipped in real blood.
I know. It's cool. I love them.
I love them. How long are they staying?
As long as
till they fall off.
Yes.
And that's the end of them till your next special event.
Well, yeah, because the girl that I went to, she only works Monday to Friday and doesn't do after hours.
So, you went during the day anyway?
Yeah, but it was like my special birthday. I can't go every 3 weeks. They can't take like an afternoon off every 3 weeks.
Well, you normally knock off at 3 anyway.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
do not. No, I don't.
Tipping Point.
I do not. I still work while I watch Tipping Point. I love that show. But I don't take a lunch break.
I'm stirring you. You don't have to get defensive.
No.
See, she's feeling guilty now.
No, I'm not.
She's feeling so guilty.
Anyways.
So this is just going to be the wall of silence.
No, I was trying to think of a nice segue, but I couldn't.
Segue.
Segue.
Segue to what?
To talk about something, so we're not sitting here in silence, but I am...
You're waiting for me to do something. No. Your brain is really struggling to deep under those layers of alcohol.
It flow nicely, and it's just not happening. It's just not happening, so that's all right.
So I have to give you a segue in somehow.
No, it's fine. I didn't know what we were gonna. If you had anything you wanted to talk about.
No, I'm loving the uncomfortableness you're doing, and I've got nothing to make. I can't remember his name, but so far I've got him to spit his coffee on his computer screen twice. So I'm still working on another one for today. I'll come up with something. And yes, we did find out that fried Mars bars were from Scotland.
Oh, are they?
I never knew that.
I didn't either.
And then someone else said they do fried butter balls. I couldn't think of anything more revolting.
Just like butter.
They like use a melon scoop and then freeze the butter ball and dip it in batter. And do you want to bite through something to runny butter?
No, I don't want to eat butter. I put butter on toast.
I do like a big I like cutting butter like cheese sometimes on toast. But I don't think I'd like to have a fried butter ball.
That's bizarre.
And that chiquito, or what was it? You should have chiquitos. And I said,
Chico rolls.
Chico rolls. And I thought there was another thing. It turns out just to be the Australian spring roll, which is nothing like the Chinese or Japanese spring roll. It's the same as size as a chiquito with a chico, with a slightly different filling. That's the only difference.
It's not different.
It's a slightly different filling.
But if you go to just takeaway, if you're like we're driving through the country and you're like on a road trip and you stop at just like a gas station, like a takeaway food shop, they have spring rolls that are that size, so they're just called spring rolls.
Yeah, but they're slightly different to your
They have the
Chico
same.
rolls.
Oh, they're different to Chico rolls, but they've just got normal
Yeah,
spring
that's
roll
what.
ingredients.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. They're slightly different to Chico rolls.
Yeah, but they're just spring rolls.
They're spring rolls, but they're like 3 times the size of a traditional Chinese spring roll.
Aren't those ones just called cocktail spring rolls?
No, they're the original spring rolls.
Oh.
All we did is like we did with dim sims. We took something from another country, we changed it by 0.1% and then called it ours. We did that with split ends.
Split ends?
Yeah.
What? Like for hair?
No, with the band. We changed it by 0.1% and then called them Australian, but they're really New Zealand.
Oh.
Same with the actor
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. We
Yeah.
changed him a little bit.
And,
Although we're judged by his angry part he is now. That's the Australian side of him coming out.
oh,
And another thing, tucking t-shirts in, I found that's even cooler.
why?
Mel Gibson used to tuck his t-shirt in Lethal Weapon. Watch Lethal Weapon. His t-shirt is tucked in. I am cool. All you people that hang it out, you're just Slim Shadys. I'd rather be a Lethal Weapon than a Slim Shady.
Oh my god.
So I've gone back to tucking.
You're going back to tucking.
Well, I had it out for a bit. I had microphone cable.
like drag
problems.
queen tucking?
No, I can't. No, I don't like that. It's like if you look, you can look it up. It is a real thing.
Tucking. Don't look up
No,
tucking.
well, it's worse than tucking. It's inverting.
That's how they tuck.
No, invert.
Oh.
Not wrap
You know, they push the
back inside.
gonads back inside and
Not
then,
the gonads, the actual main
oh,
bit.
the actual.
There was some. It was like an Anthony Bourdain, but I don't think it was him. That went and he was with a tribe and they showed him how to do it. And he said it's the most uncomfortable thing in the world, but it was fully an innie.
Or they put the dingleberries back inside and then pull the other part back.
Oh, yeah, no,
and then
I know
put
that
duct
from-
tape and
I know that from lay girls.
Yes.
So I think I could be corrected if I'm
Drag
wrong.
is
We
hard.
don't have someone sitting there Googling for us because she's sitting here. But lay girls in Melbourne was the start for what was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. That's where that came from. And I think we're the first place in the world that came from. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And now all I see is there's a few models at somebody's birthday, and it was that girl. Remember the drag that were in Sydney and they were doing drag bingo, and we walked into the bar?
yes.
It was her.
I follow her on Instagram. I can't remember.
And
what her name is.
Chantel, and there's a couple others at a party, and she was the host of the party.
I've been watching the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race, but
You're
Jared-
not impressed? It's a bit. We've run out of things to say, like our podcast. No,
no,
joking.
it's like, I don't know, and I don't have a favourite yet, which is kind of a bit disappointing. I normally at least have a favourite by episode 3. And,
You still don't have a favourite? When did you watch them though?
I've watched them as they come out on Saturdays.
But you've watched one after your birthday,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't have been in the right mind for that.
No, I'm fine with it.
You didn't go to. You still had selfies of you drinking champagne at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Yeah. I was in a great mood.
Did you actually go to bed,
Yeah, I did
or did you just sit there and comb? She bought herself a cat comb, by the way. So
So,
look, there's no cat hair on her anywhere. The comb is working a miracle.
it was so satisfying as well, the amount of white fluff that came out of that cat. I don't think she likes it though. She kept trying to swat it away. And then my grumpy fat cat didn't like it either. He was trying to fight the comb.
But he doesn't have the hair problem, or he does, but you don't
no,
see it
it's
because
not
he's
as-
black.
He's grey.
He's grey.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't. He's not a ragdoll like the other. It's just so much hair comes out of it. It's really satisfying. I'll brush her again when I get home.
Can you put a vacuum attachment onto it so it just sucks it straight up?
It'd be a
Can you
lot
get it?
easier.
Like, we just got the RoboVac for home.
I know Sheree was telling me. I'm so jealous.
So the first time I've turned it on and it's gone mapping, and I'm going, this is doing a crap job of vacuuming. All it did, so we've got our little bird cage that used to have 2 birds in it that now has 9 in there, and their habit is to hover their wings over their seed to blow it all over the house. But Robocop comes. No, well, you have to name it. We called it bitch. So it's iRobot bitch.
Oh my god.
So it's called Bitch. So I can get onto Suri and say, "Hey Suri, get Bitch to clean birdcage," and Bitch comes out of its little dock and cleans around the birdcage. I've zoned an area called birdcage, and it did it. First time I said it, it worked perfect. There was no. When robots start to get intelligent and attack people who did nasty things to robots, I'm dead.
Yeah, so I'm not though, because like if I ask Siri something, I always say please and thank you. So I will be the last to die when they take over. Because I'm polite, I always say thank you.
I'm the one who swears at Suri because my question to her, she got completely wrong.
I know,
I think I've got a dyslexic Suri that matches me. That's it, I've ended up with a dyslexic Suri.
Oh my gosh.
I very clearly said something the other day and it's answered the question completely wrong. So I rephrased it to make it even more clear and it even went further wrong.
I just type things. I don't really rely on her too much. I give her a bit of a break.
No, it did good the other night. I said movie like night and all the lights dimmed perfectly. It flicked over to Apple TV, brought up the menu system, but I didn't want to watch it on Apple TV. I wanted to watch it somewhere else. I need to program that. I've got, if you look on my to-do list, it says redo home kit. Yep. So I want to go through and reprogram my house just to upset Cherie. So everything that used to happen is going to happen differently.
Well, Cherie was very excited on Friday to tell me that you guys got Bitch. She didn't tell me it was called that though.
Bitch the robot.
Bitch the robot.
Chanel sort of wants to play with it. Bella, sorry. Miss Chanel. Bella, Buff's our, you never met Buff.
No.
Buff's the dog that used to give himself a hand job, but he was fixed. He did. He seriously sat on two paws and used the other two paws, but he was fully fixed.
Oh my goodness.
But Coco just sits it with a dumb face and it gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and then takes one step backwards and gets closer and closer and takes one step backwards.
I want one because I've seen all these videos of cats like riding on them, just riding around the house on them. That's why I want one to watch. Because my cats would do that. They would just sit on it and go.
I reckon if you put a little mouse on top of it, your cats would attack it.
It's so funny though.
You need to actually run over you. You need a robo-cat vacuum that you just, like a tick. So I know you have heaps of ticks and fleas because Jared keeps telling me your cats are in. Get a micro flea that goes in and carefully plucks out all the dead hair.
I'll just brush my cat, it's fine. I'm actually really excited to get home and brush her because it was really satisfying to see the amount of hair that came. And like clumps of like matted knots and stuff. I was like, this is so satisfying. I should have done this ages ago.
So is this better than popping blackheads on your mum's back?
No, it's not as good as that. No.
I don't know. What is it with you women? There's something about women and blackheads.
Yeah, there really is. But it's funny, my sister was telling me that my nephew's also obsessed with squeezing things. He's 3. He goes up to my sister.
It might be a they.
It's like, Mum, you have a pimple, let me get it. He's 3.
You go around to your mum's place and go, shows your back. There's got to be something coming out there. And even once on a plane, I think I had one on my neck, and you were just sitting there going, I want to. And she didn't tell me this. She was just looking at me like a vampire wanting blood. Then later on, she told me, I said, no. Shree was banned from that when I was like 20.
Mum had an everlasting one on her back. I think she still might have it. I should ask her.
And everlasting. It just goes forever.
Yeah, so like we
So you just start and it just keeps coming out. It's like a tube that gets.
No, like it comes out like this like big lump, but then you leave it for like a little while and it fills up again and it just.
So do you put it on toast afterwards?
No.
That's for the guy who spits some on his computer monitors.
Gross. No, me and my sisters, it was like our Christmas tradition.
Your sister. So 3 of you. What did you sort of go? Paper, scissors, rock to see who got to do it?
A little bit, yeah. And Gran had an everlasting one for a while as well. But
so did your mum want to get that?
Yeah, so Mum
So now it was your mum and the you 3?
Yeah.
Was it a Christmas special?
Yeah.
Like you did the Christmas poppers and whoever won the poppers got the goo Gran's back?
A little bit.
Oh.
But then Gran's one got like infected and it turned into like what you had on your back and she had to go get it drained and stuff. And
No, but that my back was a cyst.
No, and that's what the scans turned into a cyst. Like it was a blackhead, and then it got infected.
I didn't think it'd do that. Cysts, I don't know how.
It got infected.
All I know is when they x-rayed my back, it was sort of like, very close to your back is sort of like a cyst.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know where to cut out.
No.
Like I had one taken off my neck.
Anyway, this is really disgusting.
And every time you go to a new hairdresser, oh, what's the scar on your neck? I said, oh, knife wound. Well, I don't want to look tough because the scar's supposed to be, the doctor I think did a really botched up job and it's supposed to be like a full,
wound.
but it nearly was sort of like a golf ball. It's just a hard lump. It just kept getting bigger and I went to the doctor and he goes,
Knife
well,
wound.
it's not cancerous, but you're going to end up with a soccer ball if you don't cut it out instead of a golf ball.
Ugh, gross.
And I got sick and tired of people saying, you know you have a lump on your neck. No, I never knew that. Just because I can't get my shirts over my head anymore. But it wasn't painful at all. And when he cut it out, he said, do you want to keep it? I said, why?
That's like my mum would do. My mum.
Oh, she kept...
My mum she had a mole on her boob and she named it Cocoa Pop because my mum's a weirdo, and when she got that cut off, she kept that, and it's in like some little preservation stuff.
It's got roots and that coming out of it?
No, she keeps that.
Has she planted it somewhere? See if it'll grow?
It's so
Has she fed it? She needs to get the sperm
She
donor
hasn't.
over and feed it. Put it in his soup.
She has it sitting on one of the shelves in the good room.
Oh, the special room.
The good room, the front lounge room. She's got it sitting on a shelf there with the ashes of our dogs. It's got the 2 dogs' urns and then Cocoa Pop that she had cut off. She's not quite right. She's still got I think she's still got like my baby teeth. I think she's still got my belly button scab.
Your belly button scab? What's a belly? Oh, do you get a scab on it when you're young?
Where they cut the umbilical cord and then
I can't remember that.
Well, apparently I did, and she kept
Did she
it.
keep your first poo, the black one?
I know. I've still got like my first lock of hair. I've still got like some of my teeth. I'm like, Mum, you are. So when my cat had to have 2 teeth taken out, I've kept those, and I was like, here you go, Mum, you can have these for your weird collection. She's not normal, and it's really terrifying because like I already have a few
Hey, guess what?
gayolisms.
You have to, one day you got to do what I just did with my mum. You're going to have to clean out. She might have your first tampon. Might be in a jar. Might have all 3 sisters. And it's,
Gross.
You got-
Jared gets really scared because he like wants to come later in life. Me trying to get
well,
to
my
him.
sister actually saw what's coming later on in life for her, and she goes, "Just shoot me. Don't let me get like that." But even going through his mum's place, the amount of stuff I found I didn't even know. Like I've got right back to Dad's school books. I got right, and it's all. There's letters I sent. I gave Mum and Dad like Happy Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Christmas and things like that I wrote. I never realised that they kept all of that stuff. I'm just going through the stuff that because my lounge room. Well, about half my lounge room is going to end up as the family tree, like all family shit. I'm
You've already
moving.
got heaps of.
No, it's only on one wall. It's going to spread onto the other wall.
Right.
So I got a heap of new stuff. I got great grandparents, and it's really cool. I think I said in the last podcast, I'm not sure, but the further you go back, the less photos people have, but the better the photos are.
Yeah.
They're so cool when you look at them and you go, oh, Auntie Betty was a psycho bitch. You're like, she looks nasty as. Because I only get one frame and it's like a passport shot. You never nail it.
Well, Dad gave me, because I asked for something sentimental for my birthday. So Dad gave me my Nana's old, she had like a bonsai tree, but it wasn't real and it's made out of jade and some other stones. And it's real, and I remember I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. So he gave me that, so that's really cool. And I got my baby bracelet. Tiny
So what are you going to do with them? You going to put in a frame?
my baby bracelet.
Why are you putting a frame?
I might. Like
Have you got a picture of you back then? Put it in a frame with a picture of you.
I do actually, I could do that.
And then it's always there for you to see. Otherwise it gets thrown in a jar and forgotten about.
Yeah. Well, like the bonsai just lives with like my other plants. And it looks real. Jared's mum was over yesterday and I was like, Dad got me that. And she's like, how did you get that on the plane? And I'm like in his suitcase. She's like, I don't think you're allowed. I'm like, what?
What?
What? It's not real. She's like, oh, I thought it was a real plant. She's like, well, it sits with the other real plants. It's like, no, that one's not real.
Really?
I mean, to be fair, I do have like 35 houseplants, so...
Have you ever put the grow lamps in?
No, I really need to get some.
You really do. Up in Cairns, I noticed my niece's place has some grow lamp. I've got to do it. You got herbs with a grow lamp over a fish tank. So the water runs through the herbs and feeds the fish. But then the fish poo in the water, that goes back into the herbs and feeds the herbs.
I think Anne's got something similar like that, or she
It
does.
was really,
something
really
similar.
cool. And
She
there
was telling me.
things like the soapy dirt, coriander or cilantro,
Yes.
and basil. They're the things I go through all the time with my Mexican food or pizzas. So I'm seriously thinking about doing that. But I might put the budgies above it so the budgies can shit on the plants.
I need to do some serious repotting. Mum was saying when she was around yesterday as well. She's having a look around. She's like,
You haven't trimmed back or anything, have
No,
you?
I have.
You just like the jungle look.
No, I have. I trimmed back. And I trimmed dead ones off, but a few of them need to be repotted. So, Mum was having a look around, saying she's going to come down in a few weeks and do some serious repotting. And she does, and she's standing there looking, and she's like, "Right, need to do some
She
serious."
sounds like you when you do impersonations of her. This is what we've got to come. The
So
crow.
we're going to do repotting, which I like doing. But I need to get new. I think I need to get new soil because clearly there's something wrong with the soil I bought, which is just annoying.
Yeah, but you've got to
hate
remember
buying-
if you're just buying it from Bunnings and that, it's not. It's just bark. It's not soil.
It's soil. It's proper soil.
Proper soil.
Yes.
It's dug out of the ground.
But
You sure?
It's dirt. It's not bark. Bark's like peat-lit.
No, barks. They crush it down fine as well.
No, this was good.
Just
stuff.
read the good stuff. Just
Yeah.
read the labels because, well, they pot in bark. A lot of the potting mix is bark, but you've got to get the right. There's cheap and nasty
No,
crap.
trust me, this was not cheap and not nasty. This was expensive.
Oh, so they also have the expensive and crap stuff for the dumb people who don't know the difference.
Oh, my lime tree.
And that's what us Leica people do.
we had a lime tree, and it did give us a bountiful harvest. And then all of a sudden, Jared repotted it, and
It's dead.
it got citrus wasp.
That's got nothing to do with Jared repotting it.
No, because Mum said that the citrus rust could have come from the soil.
Oh,
Because sometimes that's where they live, and then Jared's repotted it using this soil. So
well,
the
kill the citrus wasp.
Well, yeah, because the
Yeah, but
the lime tree is growing new shoots, so we think we've got rid of it now, but we need to get new soil and repot it.
bees aren't going to come out and wasp it.
I hope not. I liked having because that's something that we go through a lot of is limes, like especially in summer, making vodka lime sodas and margaritas. And limes are expensive.
And limes are always expensive. I don't know why. Although, no, expensive. You want to know expensive? So I had to get a couple of things from Pellegrinos, which is, I'm lucky they have a wholesale fruiterer walking distance.
They are just expensive. Their stuff is really good though.
Their stuff is really good. It's all from farms. It hasn't been flown in from California or
But
any.
it-
It's from local. But I had grapes in there because I love grapes.
Grapes are expensive.
No, the lady who had just been served and walked out came back and wanted a refund
What?
because her bag of grapes was $24.
That's what I mean.
So the young assistant girl who'd never worked there before didn't know how to do a refund, so she went and got the boss, and he came out and redid it. And my grapes are sitting there, and I said, "So how much is this bag?" $38. He said, "You can pull some out." No, you can put the whole friggin' thing. So $38, I could buy 3 bottles of what Beck's drinking now, and it took a lot more grapes than those 3 bags. And he
my
just
God.
laughed at me. So
Well,
I think if grapes are more expensive than cashew nuts, there's a problem.
Yeah, I got grapes from Coles or something.
See, we're pre-grape season. Grapes don't start for another month.
Like, I think ours are pretty expensive. I think they were over like $10 from Coles.
Well, that's not expensive. $34
That
friggin'
is-
dollars
that
is expensive.
Well, this was like for New Year's and I was broke.
Yeah, but I think going by, because I used to go up Mildura all the time, they were never quite getting picked. But they're more Sultana grapes, but they still weren't ready, so.
Yeah, that is very expensive. I
Very
just find
expensive.
everything's gotten so ridiculously expensive.
Oh, yes. But yeah, it's all got expensive, but your wages have gone up to match it.
Mine haven't.
I know, nobody else has that either. I'm joking.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Sorry, you get little bonuses.
yeah, I know.
So shut up.
Like Dyson Airwraps.
I think. Do I get the most expensive present?
Yes.
Your sister came in and practically beat me up.
Yeah, because my
She said,
sister's a hairdresser.
Can I be your boss? Why does Bec get all these amazing things and I get nothing? I said,
she
because
say
you're your own boss. Give yourself more stuff.
Oh, boy. Yeah, she was a very green-eyed monster when she saw me unwrap the Dyson Airwrap, being a hairdresser herself.
Well, I had my hair cut that day when I was talking to Jess, my hairdresser, who's very pregnant at the moment. I mentioned to her, but I said Breville. I mixed up brands. I said, so what are the Breville hair products like? She goes, do they make toasties? And I said, and then she goes, don't you mean Dyson? I said, oh yeah, same thing, different planet. But yeah, she goes, the hair dryer they don't know because they haven't used, but they said one of their clients came in with the whole thing that you got and said, yeah, it's amazing as long as you wet your hair before you do it.
Well, that's what I found that out because so I had to play with it.
This is Bec's curled hair from her very expensive.
I did it this morning on dry hair, and yesterday I had to play with it, and like at first it looks really cool, and then I didn't put any product on it yesterday. I just did it, and then it fell out really quickly. So then today I did it on dry hair, and I put hairspray in it, and it held a bit longer, but it dropped out.
But with real curlers, you're supposed to be wet, aren't you?
No, because they're hot.
No, real curlers, not the hot ones. They're not the real curl, the old-fashioned real curlers.
Velcro ones.
Yeah, but it's pre-Velcro. They're just curlers.
I don't know.
You'd have wet hair, you'd put them into the curlers and let your hair dry.
Well, that would make sense. Whereas because this is Dyson, so like blowy stuff.
Yeah, and they're trying to stop you damaging your hair by overheating it.
Yeah, that's what it said on the box.
Yeah.
Something about like not as intense heat.
Yeah.
You got to have wet hair, and then you section it off, and they say to start from the back. I'm like,
Does the box actually say you got to have wet hair, or you skip that part?
it didn't say anything.
You sure now? You didn't just skip the part about wash your hair first?
The box had a little QR code, and it said to scan.
QR it.
So I did that, and I watched the little instructional video, and it didn't say I had to have wet hair.
Oh, didn't it?
Not that I remember.
When did you read this? Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, so it's still carry over from Saturday.
So I didn't see anything, and then I googled like why aren't these curls holding, and found a Reddit thread, and someone said that it works best if you have it because it's like it. So the way that it works is like you get like your little section and you get it and you just kind of put the end on it and it like wraps it around and it sucks it. And it sucks it on there with hot air and then you like roll it around, then you sit there and you hold it for like 20 seconds and then you push up for it to change it to cold air and you leave it until the hair cools down and then you pull the thing out and so it's set it and then you do your whole hair and then you brush it out and you're supposed to have big, beautiful, lovely curls, allegedly.
Didn't work.
I'll do it with my hair's wet and I'll see how it works.
Then it's going to be covered in blue dye.
Oh shit, true.
From you, from
my
your
blue black.
black as black hair.
Blue black.
We have to do a photo shoot in your Jessica Rabbit outfit.
Yeah.
So Bec made everyone wear black to her party and she turns up in red to stand out. But she was also like 12 foot taller than anybody else and like a beanpole.
And I looked at it, I was in this like full Jessica Rabbit. Oh, you know what I'm like? Foot in mouth.
No, never.
I'm the absolute worst foot in mouth. And one of my mates, I haven't seen her in a little while. It was really good to catch up with her anyway. She was like, "Oh, I love your dress," and I was like, "Thanks." I'm feeling very Jessica Rabbit. She's like, "Yep. Well, I hope that that's a good night for you. But thank you for reminding me." Totally forgot that.
She had a rabbit called Jessica and it died.
No, a few years ago, she dressed up as Jessica Rabbit for Halloween, and we were out at this bar on Chapel, and she went down this step, and they had a grate on the floor, and the heels that she was wearing got caught in the grate. And she's gone to walk, twisted her leg, fell over, put all her weight on her leg as she's hit the floor and broke her leg in 2 places. And her leg will never be the same again. She can't do cheerleading anymore. She still has a bit of a limp.
Why would she want to be a cheerleader anyway?
Because she used to do cheer.
Yeah, but so that's just...
It's like a competitive it's like gymnastics kind of thingy. I don't know. She likes doing that stuff. She can't jump anymore. She can't
you do
run.
one-legged cheerleading? One-legged... Sorry, all these people that have been and lost a leg have become these amazing athletes. She just needs to channel it.
She's still got like a little bit of a limp. It sucks. She broke it, and it was really traumatic for her. And
Did you sue the place for having a gap in the step?
I told her to, and she said no. And I was like,
Said no, but I'll
"Why?"
just blame you every time you wear a Jessica Rabbit outfit.
I was like, why didn't you do anything
So
about
she'll
this?
never watch Jessica Rabbit again in her life.
But anyway, I just felt foot in mouth because I forgot that was the worst night of her life, and I'm like, I feel very Jessica Rabbit.
Did you just go, wipe, move on, next girl?
Sorry for bringing that up. My bad. Whoopsies. Soz. Classic me.
It was really funny on a Bec's party. Somebody's they put out a black 30 balloons, which are the helium, and Bec was all happy till her
My nephew.
nephew got hold of him and proceeded to try and get him caught up in the ceiling fans, and did. Destroyed them.
He's very rambunctious.
And Jared trying to save him. That was actually really funny.
And then staff were chasing after him. I was like, I think staff's got a new best friend. It's nice. Oh, it was a funny time.
Anyway, it's not a very good podcast. We haven't spoken about food, movies, or
watched-
photography.
I watched a really good movie called The Menu.
Is that new?
Yes. It's on Disney Plus. It's got
Disney Plus. Yeah, forget
No,
that.
no, it's like it's
G-rated crap.
No, it's got blood and stuff in it. It's like one of those comedy thriller things.
Yeah, the
a
blood's
black
just.
coffee.
Yeah, the blood's just sort of strawberry sauce.
It's got Ray Fiennes in it. He's such a good actor.
Ray Fiennes. Oh, who's Ray Fiennes?
Played Voldemort. He was in Red Dragon.
2 movies I haven't seen. Oh, Red Dragon. Oh, yeah.
The villain guy with the big tattoo on his back.
Oh,
and
yes,
stuff.
yes. Oh, yeah, he is good.
Yeah, he's really good. That was good. And food. I don't know what I'm cooking for dinner. There we go. We've spoken about that.
Oh, food. You told me you had this beautiful bug pizza, cockroach pizza. And it was the best pizza you ever had. You got to drink for free.
I was actually.
In fact, while you're talking, Ashley, while you're talking, I'll be back in a second.
Well, I was actually really happy with that. So we went out for dinner on Saturday night to one of my favourite restaurants to get pizza, and I was halfway through eating my pizza and I cut my last 2 slices in half, and there was like a full bug, like a full little moth type thing, full had wings and everything, and it wasn't teeny tiny, it was rather sizable. And so when I'm not eating that slice. I still ate the rest of it, the other slice. I just didn't have the part that the bug touched. And then the chick came to take away my plate. She's like, "Oh, do you want a takeaway box?" I was like, "No, because this slice had a bug in it, and this is the giant bug that was in there." And she was mortified, and she took the plate away and called the manager. And the manager came over and just kept apologising to me, Jared, and my dad, and we were like, "Hey, it's cool, these things happen," type of thing. And he's like, "No, that's disgusting. You know what? Dinner's on me tonight, guys. And do you want another drink?" And we're like, "Yeah, all right." And
I expect, do you want another drink?
all right, I'll have another drink.
Yeah, I'll have a bottle.
But when he said dinner's on me, I was like, wait, does he mean everyone's dinner or does he mean just my dinner? You know, he meant everyone's dinner. We went up to pay.
Didn't you check it out to see it was a Queensland cockroach that I'd brought down for you? And you'd planted it and cut it. The cockroaches up in Queensland have wings.
This is like a mothy thing, but it was kind of about that big. It was actually kind of big, and it's like the full body of it was full whole thing.
There is a meal that is made out of maggots. Maybe they were trying to do a maggot pizza.
Anyway, at least I got my.
You got a free meal.
Oh, I was gonna have a free meal anyways. Jared,
Who was supposed to pay you?
I don't know. I was gonna let Jared and Dad fight it out.
So all they've got is got out of. So you didn't achieve a thing. They got bonus. She's had a great night out, and it didn't cost us our cents.
Yeah, so it's good.
So you need to hit them both up for another meal because it didn't cost them.
No, we'll it's a win-win
When
for
we're in
everyone.
Queensland, hit you up for a really good meal because you didn't pay for the last.
It's a win-win for everyone. And I was actually really, because I thought they would just give me like my pizza for free. But
I think the fact that you didn't jump and run up to the counter going, look, I've got a moth in my
yeah,
soup.
I just ate everything but that slice of pizza. And
So was it a whole, or did you eat the head half of it off
no,
your...
the bug was
It wasn't
still
like the moth we
whole.
found here that was decapitated.
No,
We've
it was
got
whole.
something that eats moth heads in here.
It was a full thing, and it was just on one of the slices because I cut it in half, and then I saw it, and I was like, "What is that?" And I picked it up with my knife. I was like, "Ooh, that's a whole bug."
A whole bug.
So I was like, "I just won't eat that slice." I was like, "This
There's
slice."
something funny, I don't know if it was you or someone else that found a bug and it went really pear-shaped. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but someone found it and it ended up backfiring really badly. It ended up being the worst night of their life because of what they were accused of doing. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Anyway, so I got a free
Anyway.
milk.
So there's your food. So I'll go through movies. I haven't watched anything. Shree was watching something that Nicole Kidman was in, like a super villains and Nicole Kidman was in it. And Shree kept on saying how good it was, but I was too busy editing. So I've got to look up what that was. I watched the rest of Ozark and, all right, so I stopped Ozark the last season after episode 4 because no matter what they did, it got worse. And I was sort of like, you fixed this problem, it made a bigger problem, it started to annoy me. And then I come back 6 months later and start watching again and got really hooked again for about 4 episodes and then it just got worse. And then Saturday night, I think Shree and I sat down and I said, we'll just finish it, even if it ends up Monday night. And I think it was only 2 or 3 episodes and it was getting worse and it had a twist. And then I was waiting for the ending and I thought, it's left it in a really good place. Like it's left it in, this could go anywhere now. This has been solved, this has been solved, this has been solved. It went black, a shotgun went off and you go, did that solve that problem or not? And it was sort of like, you've got me for another season, you bastards. But I must admit, it is, I know you're never going to watch it, you keep telling me it's not your jam, but to me, it's the progression through them. Like when I first started watching, I stopped, and when I came back, I enjoyed it again. It's something I think you've only got to watch 4 or 5 episodes and stop.
Yeah.
Because the building up, it's a little bit like Junkyard Dogs, no matter what, not Junkyard, Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
It just keeps getting worse and worse, no matter what happens. This is a bit like this, but if you take a break and come back, you can accept the worse and worse. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. But yeah, now I don't know what to friggin' watch. I've got nothing to watch. There's no Boys 12 or there's a couple of people recommended a couple of things. I think I'm going to watch that one about, what's his name? Harvey Weinstein. You told me the movie. She or something.
I don't know.
It's supposed to be a really good movie. It's got. I kept on thinking it's going to be rubbish, and I've had too many people tell. I think it's called She or something. It's supposed to be really good.
Don't know.
That's not serious. That's just a one-nighter. But I don't know what series to. As recommendations, I love things like Squid Games, Alice in Borderland, Hellbound, Breaking Bad.
What are we watching at the moment? Because we normally have 2 shows going. We normally have a couch show, which is normally a bit more serious, and then we have a bed show, which is normally a little bit more lighthearted. So
I can't do TV in bed. Shree does it, I cannot do it. If I watch TV in bed, I can't sleep.
Oh, we're watching The Circle at the moment. It's not really serious, but that's our couch show at the moment is The Circle, which is like, it's kind of like Big Brother in a way.
Yeah, you can blow that out your way.
I really like it though, so we're watching that, and then we're also watching South Park, because there was a new season that came out last year that we didn't watch.
Yeah,
Which
didn't have.
you don't like that either.
I know. I think it was my son put me off it. Him
So funny.
watching 7,000 episodes a night, and I didn't get it. But I saw one episode and I thought this is a bit cool and a bit up my alley.
Yeah,
but
I think you'd find the humour really funny, because my dad's the same.
I
he
didn't
finds
realise Skanky was a piece of poo.
Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Hanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I can't get into it now. Once you've It's like you and Ozark. I can't go there. I'm not going there. I don't care what you say.
I got Dad to watch a few episodes of South Park because I was like, I think you will really, really like the humour if you can just get past the animation. And he got through a few episodes and he's like, you're right. Like, the humour in it is exactly...
The animation doesn't worry me because I like The Simpsons. I like friggin' a lot of those.
Dad doesn't like the animation. Doesn't like the way it's like those cutouts and it's kind of like all choppy and like
Yeah, that
jump
doesn't bother
around.
me. I grew up watching Thunderbirds. Everything was choppy about them.
True. Well, he likes a sense of humour.
I did watch something. Oh my God. I can't believe it's still allowed.
What?
Tropic Thunder.
Isn't that like got Ben Stiller in it or something?
Yeah, it's so wrong. It's right. I'm sitting there going, oh my God, someone's going to murder every crew member because everything was breaking every single rule of what the woke world wants today. And it hasn't been cancelled. They've cancelled friggin' Alice in Wonderland and all these other movies.
Why have they cancelled Alice in Wonderland?
I don't know. There's lots of shows have been cancelled. Gone with the Wind was cancelled.
Wasn't that because the dude was like a bit of a jerk?
So you haven't watched Tropic Thunder. That shouldn't be allowed. Like a lot of movies, you can't even. There's certain platforms you can't get it off. I couldn't believe that Apple and all of them still have it for rent. Original. I've actually bought it and downloaded it, so I've got it for the rest of my life, and nobody can censor it. So whenever I want to go back and have a laugh, it is unwoked comedy. It's so funny, especially.
I'm not playing my drinking game. You're supposed to have a shot every time Peter says woke.
I said woke once. I don't woke that much. You're making out that I woke a lot. You're going to have to drink a lot when you listen back to this. Woke. You have to be tequila. What was that crap tequila you were drinking?
I don't know. My friend bought it for me.
Well, they didn't have anything good in that bar, so it's got to be. I think it was strawberry flavoured tequila. It's like,
I bought a tequila, and then after I had that, my friend got me, because I was like, I'll have a wet pussy because I like them, and they didn't do those.
Would you listen to what you just said?
Half
the cocktails were named just as pickup lines.
But no, wet pussies are like a famous shot, and they're really good. It's vodka, peach schnapps, and grenadine.
Yeah,
They're
they're not that
delicious.
famous. It only came about in the 90s.
They're
They'll pick up lines.
They're delicious.
Would you like a wet pussy? That, don't you know? It's like Sex on the Beach. They'll all pick up lines.
I know. Anyways, I really liked those, and they didn't do them, but they said they would.
I thought you hated the P word.
I do hate the P word.
So you just said it.
I know. I don't like it. They gave
So
me
just
vodka.
say wet cat.
They gave me vodka with like red cordial in it.
Is that what that was?
That was the second shot I had. The first shot I had was...
And that was supposed to be?
The first shot my friend gave me was tequila. He didn't tell me what it was. He just goes like, here you go. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, here you go. I'm like, what is it? He's like...
They had the cheap Patron there, so it's most likely that. And it's
given
most likely rebottled with something really cheap.
I got given a bottle of Patron.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, well, you know what to make margaritas out of now. Yeah, this is pretty average. Don't kill me. Patron is not.
I like Patron.
No, it's a straight sip drink. No, it's horrible. It's like rocket fuel.
Fine in friggin'...
In a margarita, will be fine.
Yeah, well, it's going to be...
Those
better.
margaritas there were horrible. They were so sweet. They're
didn't
worse
mind
than
them.
American margaritas.
I didn't mind them.
Except for the Texas margaritas. They were friggin' spicy margs in Texas. Amazing.
Sorry that I picked the worst place in Melbourne to have my birthday.
No, I'm not dishing you. It's just that they didn't have anything I like to drink. And so the floor we were on was $32 for a drink I wanted.
Which was 2 shots.
2 shots. I go down a level, it was 21 for better shots. It was a good bourbon and some Fireball mixed together. It was $21. They didn't even have Fireball up in your level.
Well, I'm sorry.
You got unleveled.
I'm so sorry that I didn't...
And then forcing vegan food on me.
Oh, I'm so sorry about
So, but
this.
that sauce made it unvegan. That sauce was really good. Did you try the sauce with the deep fried cauliflower?
I had 1 mac and cheese bite all night.
Is that all you had?
Yes. And then I paid for everyone's bill. It's the most expensive mac and cheese bite of my entire life. I'm spewing. I
They
didn't.
did really rip you though. If you think about it, there was 2 small bowls of mac and cheese, deep fried things. There's 2 small bowls of the cauliflower. There's 2 small bowls of the fried chicken, and there's 2 platters of mini burgers. That was it for $1,200.
No, there was more than 2 of everything.
No, they got put on the table near us.
They walked around with them all first.
No, and then they put them on the table.
No, I'm
It's
pretty
the
sure
same
I saw.
one-
I'm pretty sure I saw at least 3 plates of cider.
Ask Gail. Gail will back me up.
Gail talks shit all the time.
So do I. So Gail will back me up. Leave me alone. Anyway, so we've spoken about movies. Now we spoke about that food.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about photography. So didn't you have something to talk about photography? Segway.
A segue. I was going to bring it. So I hope I didn't speak about this the last one, but I did a rant, and then we were speaking to Eric on Volley for Inspire, and he mentioned about models doing behind the scenes stuff, and if that.
But the first way he mentioned it was
Yeah.
not the way
what we
expected.
So at first he asked, I think he asked me directly. He's like, what are your thoughts on models doing behind the scenes stuff?
Just a quick one, so people know. Volley is something we have on Inspire that allows people to pick up their phone, go into Volley, turn their video on and ask us a question. And when I wake up in the morning, I see their video, I click mine and video answer them back so I can get more detail in the question.
Or like you can, if you need to
You
show
can
them.
text and you can send.
Yeah, but normally if they ask something technical about lighting, you can come to this.
I can
TV
actually
and
show them exactly what
That's
they've
really
asked.
handy.
But yeah, it's a platform. Volley is a platform out there that anybody can use, but you can't get into our Volley unless you're an Inspire member because that's the benefit.
Because you have a little private link.
You have a private link to our Volley, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, and he asked me about what I think about behind the scenes, like models doing behind the scenes. And at first I said, well, I don't mind because a lot of girls come in here and do it and they'll just take little selfies in the mirror or take a photo of the set.
It's three sort of levels.
Yeah.
There's a first level that they're getting hair and makeup done, or they're just taking pictures of themselves before the shoot, and that shouldn't
Or the hair
upset.
and makeup artist wants
them. And if they're doing their own hair and makeup, they're taking pictures themselves, or they want to just tag that they're in my studio or whatever. That's the first one. Completely don't
That's
care,
fine. Completely.
unless we're on a commercial shoot of stuff that's not going to be released for a period of time. Then no models are allowed to release anything until after whatever the photo shoot or video or whatever we did has been done. And we normally go through this with the models, but anything else we do is like, we don't care whatever you do. So then the next level is what I do is I allow the models to go through the pictures, mark their favourite pictures, and they can take screenshots with their phone as long as they have the computer screen in so people can see this is not finished, and they can video as they click through their favourite shots. And every now and then, like Anna used to set up a phone videoing herself modelling. So I wasn't in the video, it was just zoomed in on herself. So she doesn't do that anymore. She realised they're not that good at video. So all of those things are cool with me. And that's what we thought Eric?
I think it was Eric.
Yeah,
I could be getting
that's what he was asking us. But then
He elaborated.
and then it was a little bit different to what he was happening. And they were paid models too,
so
wasn't
he
it?
was paying the models, and then they were rocking up with like full tripods and setting it up, and then recording him as well. And he was
Recording
like,
him
"I
talking
don't
and...
want this." Like, I was like, whoa, okay. That I have not really heard of, and I don't blame you for not wanting that to be happening. Like, I just find that...
Like, it's good protection that... Well, I've got my condom's Bec. So nobody can claim I did, or because 99% of the shoot's Bec is here. So anything, no model can claim I did anything, or not that I do anyway.
Do you reckon that's why they're filming it though? Like,
no, they're filming it for. No, they're 100% filming it for friggin' content. Because everyone's about friggin' TikTok, Instagram,
I don't think it's got anything to do with, I think he's like, I'm going to film this.
You're so much better to say to the photographer, look, I need some content. Why don't we do something together so it's cool, rather than just have this boring content of behind the scenes, which is never that cool. Yeah. But if you set up little things that are cool.
Just having like one camera in the corner of you on a photo shoot, like I would turn that off within like 10 seconds. Like.
Well, I tried to pull a cool bit of video out of something recently, so it was a really cool shoot, and my little RX, and No, couldn't pull. It's just boring.
But that's what I mean. It's
You've
like,
actually got to work to the video. You can't just like.
which is exactly what I mean. And it's like they're probably thinking this is like these models probably thinking this is going to be great content. But it's like, one, the photographer's not keen on being in this. They're not going to work to the camera. You probably can't hear the sound very well. It's like, it's not going to be great content. You're better off talking to the photographer and saying, hey, I want some extra content.
Let's make something together.
Yeah, let's do something together. And then, because the photographer's going to have the skills to make it.
He might even have like a cool video camera with a gimbal that you can come in and video you cool.
Make
like,
it so much
how many
better
models
than-
decide to quickly do their digis and little bits of things they want?
Yeah, because they're like, hey, I really want more content. Whereas if you just coming in with that anyway. I thought that was interesting, and I'd never heard of models doing that.
But here's in America, so it might be. But this is this thing.
I did find models very different in America last time.
They're so Insta TikTok.
Yeah, very, very different when we were over there a few months ago to when we were there pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's so instant. And this is this thing I was talking to you. I only spoke to you about a little bit of what I was talking about the supermodels. That if you go back to say 2000 and look at the new models that came around in 2000, name one that wasn't the daughter of someone rich and famous.
In the 2000s.
From 2000 onwards.
That was or wasn't?
That wasn't.
I don't know.
You can't. If you think of all of them, are you tired? But seriously, I went my best because there's not many models. You've got the Hadids and all of those. But you can't. I can't see any model that was a complete unknown. But if you go back to the 90s, you can find a whole heap. And this is where the world's changed. Is you have to have a famous parent with money to make it in these things, because it's all about like you need the name.
Lima came around the 2000s.
No, she was way before 2000s.
She's only like 40 something.
So, and we're 23.
Yeah, so
She started when she was 16.
Yeah, what's 40 minus 23?
17. No, she was older than that. No, she's 40 something. She's not 40. Well, regardless, her first photo shoot was with Patrick Dumichelia. I think it was her first. If not, it was one of the very early ones that she got seen for. And I think it was Pirelli calendar.
Right.
So that won't be her first shoot, but yeah, one of her very early famous pictures with Patrick Dumichelia for Pirelli calendar. Yeah, but see, I was nearly certain that was back in the 90s. I can look it up later or someone can tell us. But if if we 2010.
Yeah, I say 2010 is a better thing than 2000.
But even Candace, I think, was just hitting it in 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the point you're trying to make is that everyone's got a famous parent. Everyone's a Nepo model.
Well,
now.
whereas you go before that, like Candace, I don't think has rich parents. Adriana Lima doesn't.
It's just
Kate,
now.
all of the supermodels that were before, they just made it on. They walked really well. They photographed really well. They had a look. They had a unique look that everybody, Turlington, you just know straight away, everyone had their look and their feel.
Whereas now you look at the biggest supermodels, and it's what the Hadids,
They're
Kendall
not
Jenner,
Cara
Cara
supermodels.
Delevingne, and it's like, yeah, that all came from rich parents.
Rich parents. And they haven't really gone, supermodels should be like this cross section of stuff. And I must admit, Bella Hadid has done a few things. And oh shit, I didn't realise that was her. It's a bit cool. But a lot of her stuff, I just look at and go, she has a cool body, but I don't see that model thing that.
She has one face.
She has one face. Cara Delevingne
That
definitely
is
has one face.
Pulled way too tight from those bloody things.
Sorry,
that
that Kardashian, I saw something, she was trying to hit that she wore something that somebody else wore in a catwalk, and then it became famous because she wore it. And it was like just completely see-through, and you could see everything. And that was the only reason she wore it, is so you could see freaking what she had for breakfast. But this is a problem I see more and more with the whole world, with everything in the arts. It's all this wank about, it's cool to follow. And it started, you can look at Andy Warhol, and everyone thought it was cool that he painted a soup can. But he was very clever and got away with it. Now everybody else thinks that if you slot into these little squares, it's not the future. It's the standouts. But even photography, I don't see, and this happened, I know stretch this out long. Quite a few years ago, I think it was about 10 years ago, one of the universities that had me guest lecture every now and then, I went into their staff room, and then after I finished the staff room, there was a sign in the staff room, and then I went into the students' room, the same sign was there. And it was the top 10 photographers and what year they were born. So the youngest photographer in the top 10 photographers was David LaChapelle, born in 1971. There was nobody in the list after 1971.
Interesting.
And I found that was really, and I started looking, thinking seriously, yet the world has changed a lot. Whereas, and every photographer they had in the list were amazing photographers, but it just seemed that the photography clubs, the digital world, all the other things had changed this beautiful uniqueness that, like, David LaChapelle looks like David LaChapelle. Peter Lindbergh, all those greats, you can't say, they've all, Irving Penn, Albert Watson, they've all got these amazing looks. But everybody is still, as soon as someone does a different look, everyone on the internet goes, "Hey, you're shit, you're boring, I don't like it." And try and kill the person. Show me your work. Oh, I don't have anything to show you, but I'll just clam you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going over time and Beck's
We
looking
are.
at her phone. She wants to go home. Is it because it's home time, is it?
I wanted
Oh,
to
it's
know-
after home
I
time.
wanted to know what the time
You just want to
was.
go to bed.
I've got to go to the shops.
What for? You're just going to get home and hit the bed.
I've got to go get
Jared's
stuff.
going to starve to death.
No, I've got to go to the shops and get some stuff to make dinner. I might do fish.
Anyway, my rant will go further soon on
Oh,
either
yes.
YouTube or something, because we need to change. Otherwise, we're going to end up being Zara or H&M. Anyway,
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you. We will see you next week, and hopefully I will have had some sleep.
enthusiastic. Bye guys, thank you. See you. I'm about
Hopefully I'll have had some sleep by next week.
had some sleep.
Had some sleep. Then move it. Bye, guys. I have to do my photo.
That was the photo. You already did it. The tongue out at the camera. I'll pour you. I'm empty. I'm on ice water.
But I can't see yours anyways.